regular computer as well. So I'm going to, first of all, actually I'll just put real quickly on the board what we're going to do. So we're going to set up the machine first. And with one, that won't take very long, right? The hard part is just getting it downloaded if you're going to do that. Then we're going to get the databases. This part you might need to do even if you have your own. Okay. And then I will show you a little bit about how Visual Studio interacts with databases. And this is more informational than anything else. Visual Studio can be the front end to a SQL Server database. Right? And rather than be a couple things where we have to go to the Management Studio, but I can show you how to do that. And then I'm going to show you database entities. They're actually, I think, called ADO entities, and we'll start actually working on the stuff for the assignment. We'll do as much as we can for that. I'll probably have to say this more than once, but I'm not going to be here Thursday. My uncle died, so I need to go over to Idaho. So if we can get enough where you can actually work on things Thursday, the lab will be open, and I think I can get a tutor here to help. If we don't get enough, then we'll just have to catch up later. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to try to rush it too much just to get there. Okay, so let's everybody come in and we'll get going. So with the virtual machine, we're just using VMware, and down here you can just, if you type this VM, it's usually enough. And what you want is this VMware Workstation Pro. And again, if you're on your own laptop, you don't need this. You can take it if you want, but I'm just going to tell you that it probably won't perform well on your laptop. It needs an amount of, it's some pretty good processing power, because you're running 2 copies of the operating system at the same time. When you open this, you're not going to get this. You're going to get something more like that. And you may not have anything over here. All right, so I'm going to show you how to load the virtual machine. And we'll do that first, make sure everybody that needs it gets it loaded. Did you still, you have your login now, right? Okay, I couldn't remember if I give it. I know we had that. So I am going to do open virtual machine. We're not going to create one. If you create one, you have to like install the operating system, install all the software. It takes forever. This is pre-created. It's the Winter 17. And if you go into that, there will be a little thing with little icon with 3 little things there, and it's the virtual machine. And if you just click on that and do open, it will open the virtual machine. In general, okay, so I'm going to, you guys have this? Yeah. So let's see if take ownership works. I can cure it if it doesn't. Okay, so it seems to have gone on. So you should get something that looks like this. To start it, you can just click the little green thing there or the little green arrow here. They both do the same thing, the little triangle. That will start it. So I'm just going to say power on this virtual machine. You can say I moved it or I copied it. Typically, I moved it is better for licensing, in that the theory is that you don't have multiple copies of the same software, because even though it's a virtual machine, you're supposed to pay for the software. Ours is all group licensed. So I'm going to say I moved it, but it doesn't affect how it performs or what it does. This just tells you what's hooked up, like your keyboard and everything that comes in through a USB port. This will read your USB drives if you want. Mine is fairly big because of the couple of things I want to say about these frustrations, that just to pre-warn you, they tend to update somewhat randomly. And that can be very annoying if they update right when you're trying to do something, right? Like follow along or something. There's not much I can do about that. Supposedly the next version of Windows, which is updated, isn't it? Or very soon, if not now, will allow users to go back to the ability to say, no, I don't want to update. Right at this point that they don't give you that ability, they just do. Couple of things that I would suggest. You see this little icon that has a little box with the 4 arrows coming out of it? That maximizes. Maximize is good because you don't have double toolbars. You're just in Windows and you don't have to worry about it. Some people like to work with Windows though, you know, and have their outer stuff too. A couple of things you can do under View. There's some things where you can play with fit the window or fit the guest. You can arrange, you know, you can play with it to get it to stretch to fill the box. Go and maximize, and your toolbar, your outside toolbar, and your inner toolbar, and can get confused between the two. At least you guys. To my, I am going to password is S0D1. You are all going to be Steve. I did this. I will fade it or something. So P at SSW0D1. Once it's up and going, I'll come around and make sure everybody that needs it gets it up. That's there, but yeah. It's just the one that you over and over. P at S, capital P by the way, W0RD1. Forms the network with actually a lot of Microsoft stuff. You know, if you do all cloud. All right, you do not have to share. If you say you make any difference, it won't share. Okay. Up here, you may have your toolbar down. Leave it down if you want. This is the virtual machine. Hey, there's that little tack on the edge. If you click on it, it goes away. And sometimes that's good because it'll interfere occasionally with your menus for like Visual Studio. Then if you just mouse up to it, it comes down again. And when you mouse off of it, it goes away. Okay, so this is, we're up to where we have the virtual machine. The reason we're using the virtual machine on these machines is that when we use the database, the underlying machine does not have permissions enough for us to use the database. All right, and we've thought about ways to try to make that not the case without giving people permissions that could to the network. So far, we haven't figured it out. There are ways. I mean, I could come around and manually create a user, each of you, add you to the database. If you really hate, at some point I can show you how to change your user. You have to create a new user, but it's not. Not have this. Okay. Anyone? So don't do anything. So we get back to file, open, and then just do that, and then do once you're in, when you're in, you guys are in. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It takes a while if you save this state. I'll talk about that when we close it down. So you did, and you can shut down internally. So what it does, saves exactly the way it is when you left it. It takes a while to restart that way. You don't need it. Looks like you're doing that. Yeah. So before this, or so like there's full site. See, full screen it takes over. You can go there. It's only. So I think we can load SQL Server. Let me know if it takes you too long. I mean, I'm not sure why yours is taking so long to go in. So, but actually, let's go into what we need to do it directly to. We can do this in Visual Studio. So Visual Studio should be in here. It may be slightly different. Yeah, so it's 2015 instead of 2017, which shouldn't matter much. I'm going to show you how to add the base stuff. Which actually this is going really smoothly. That's a little scary. It's usually fairly complicated. Yeah.
How do we get the databases if we're running our maps?
Same way I get them in here. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. The databases, once I get here, I'll show you how to get the databases. They're on GitHub. The ones for the house are both on GitHub. Yeah, I mean the SQL Server. So you can use Visual Studio as a front end to server SQL. In that sense, it doesn't give you SQL Server. Okay. All right. So there is a thing called the Server Explorer, and I'm going to here. And if you have the Server Explorer, mine was over on the edge here. You can get it from View and Server Explorer, and so it's down on my. Generally, we don't need this, but I'm going to show you how to make a connection to the database, it'll allow us to add the new databases. It can be useful for letting you see the data like that, so you have to flip out. So here, all right, we'll catch you up if we have to. So I'm going to, just in this, I'm going to under data connection, and add it. is SQL Server connection, right? Right. A SQL connection. I can. So the server name, I believe, is //SQL Express. This may not be the case on your machine, or it may be. Like if you downloaded SQL Express, then that's what it will be. But if it's if you install a full version of SQL Server host, the default instance of a full SQL Server, or it could be if you named it, it would be the name of the server. When I come down here, I should. Am I seeing them? I'm not seeing them. Let me try localhost and see what happens. The data equals, and it's localhost for not the SQL Express. So they've installed the full version of SQL Server. For some reason, it's sufficient. Now, there's no window. Back to master real quick. You do okay. How many got the command to walk through that again? What? I'm supposed to look up. Right click, yeah. I can. Right, and then Microsoft SQL Server. Third one down. No, the one above it. The other. It should allow you to continue. Okay, so then continue. It should bring up the. So I said these can be really slow. They tend to speed up after a while. They do good at work. All right, so. And then do SQL Server. Localhost. Use the database map. Get that. I would kind of want. All right, so change this to this right localhost. So just get rid of SQL Express localhost. That's one for it. And then master is probably okay. Just do okay. Anyone else? The computer's fine. Yours is restarting. What is your?
I restarted.
Okay. If you can, if it gets stuck, give it a few minutes. All right, everybody else is okay.
So,
Yeah.
here is the password is not installed.
So yeah, so do okay. Change this to localhost.
Local host.
Yes. And then you should be able to see master. Click the drop down.
This one.
Should populate.
No. It's not this.
Yeah. It takes a while. Okay. So we can fix that.
You do.
The computer manager.
I come up. It was still separate.
No, this is fine. This is in the this isn't in the virtual machine.
And this is nothing. I can't.
Oh, so it's not going to work outside the virtual machine. So that's.
So since I already opened the virtual, what we previously report, we open the classroom. This is
Yeah, you can change it. What is the virtual machine? It's right. So it is in use because it's right here. So let's do Visual Studio. No, no. Visual. So that's yeah. What is
I need to know to class. Last class and I go and I come back. Install this, I need to reinstall.
I don't know. So it says it's completed.
Back to.
You might want to do it. Because I think it's probably there. I mean, it should be there. It's not going to show up in your program files, probably. Well, so let's look at the Visual Studio. So, right, here's a visa express. So there's a this one. Backslash. Are we ready mostly? Let's see, you need to get caught up a little bit. You need the search for so let's okay, right click here and do date add connection. And then SQL Server. And do continue. And then do localhost. And then get master and database. And then do OK. Okay. So what I want to do here, I am recording. Yeah.
How will we return?
So GitHub. So itself. You can try Azure. My scripts won't work on Azure. So they'll work mostly on Azure. What you have to do is they start off with create database. With Azure, you have to go in and manually create the database, and then you can run the rest of it. But Azure doesn't allow the create database command. All right. So what I want to do here, I want to right-click on the database connection and query. A query window eventually. Did you get hooked up? Yeah. So right-click new query. Okay. So this is an SQL window. One of the neat things is you can, as I said, you can use Visual Studio as a front end for SQL. So what I want to run it in here. Well, okay, it may take a second. I see. If you go to a little time on this, I want to make sure everything, and then we'll move ahead. As I said, it's going amazing. It worries me. Last time, whole hours to get
And this page.
one. This one,
Now this page.
right click. To just now the other thing is only here. Have admin inside the machine. Chrome, Firefox, here, tell you, but anything very much. So welcome to. I go to Canvas Seattle. .edu. Is that correct? Actually, set Canvas, but I'll leave it there. I want to go to GitHub. I go to Tom. SP. There were longer, so I have SP. So if you go to github.com spconquer, and I think we've looked at this before, haven't we? There is a popular repository class. Go here. So just GitHub database schema. And the two databases that we're going to use are Book Review DB SQL. That will be for the do for you, and Community Assist with the underscore SQL, which is for your assignment. So I'm going to do, and I'm just going to click on it, and it will give you the SQL. Don't copy it here because it is nicely color-coded and different things, which means if you copy it here, you're going to get the line numbers, you're going to get some HTML that's color-coded, different things. So you want to go to raw. Yeah. I'm on the data review database. Yeah. What? The assignments will be community underscore assist. And I'm going to, okay. So I'm going to Control A, Control C. I'm going to paste it here. Okay. Couple, just for the Azure thing. If you basically kill everything down to where it starts create function, and then go through those from there on, it should run in Azure. It just the scheme, and it's going to give us a couple of errors. They're not fatal errors. Oh, I want this arrow, the one over here. So it goes down here, and there are lots of rows affected. The errors that we get are because I have some users that don't have login. I meant to remove them from the script, but I haven't. Yeah, so it's a book review. So if I go back to the It's book review. So we go to database schema. Book review DB SQL. Yeah. So the databases.
I need your name.
Oh, SP Congress.
C.
Let's see.
Then.
And then what was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think one. Two.
Okay. So we if we make exists.
This one.
Database connection, localhost, connect to book review DB. And when I open that, you can see that it has each of these will have, like it'll have, the book key, the book title, and it has all the data, all the tables and everything for that. So questions on that? You just have to run a script. You don't have it's all there, all the data is added. And again, there's anything. Oh, it's just the same way we did before. Right click, add connection. I'm going to do the community assistant. So this if you want. Save the SQL. Off the mouse, a new query. Go back to GitHub. This time instead of I want community assist, the one with the underscore. Again, you want to do raw. And again, it has all the create database stuff at the top. So, and then I am going to copy it. So do Control A, Control C. And you're just going to paste it.
Which community access do you want to do?
The underscored one, the one with the underscore. And to execute it, and this one doesn't executes. And again, just you don't have to make this data connection, but just to see the database. One thing I would advise you on this screen here, which we're going to see lots of, don't click the down arrow. Never works, and it takes 30 seconds to time out. Just type localhost in. And then down here, I'll choose, now I have community underscore assist. And again, I have all the tables here. So let me explain a little bit about community assist, and then I'll come around and make sure everybody's got these too. This is the one that the assignments will be based on, and it's basically the idea that they're of a charity that gives grants out to people, small grants, for different kinds of needs. The grant type is a table that lists all the different needs that they will respond to. So it has things like food. I could do, I'm going to kill this. And then I'm going to do a new query. And I'm going to do it off of Community Assist. Show you. I'm going to do select star from grant type, and it looks like I'm going to need to increase my fonts. That's pretty small.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to go back a little bit. How did you got it over there on your?
So same way we did master, right click, add connection. localhost, and then down, yeah, localhost down through this.
Oh,
database.
people like to do this.
Yeah, yeah,
So is it?
SQL Server. You give it a second. The localhost. And the first time, just do that. So the drop down looks like this. It might be. Or it might be something else. Do you want that to? So you can either pick it over the whole screen, but you don't want to do that. I'm just helping. Here's something, if you ever get to the point where it isn't connected, says there's a server error, sometimes in the virtual machines it seems to shut off. Back on. If it ever makes the content.
I didn't know. I just found the phone. And I didn't copy those. From the community and from the first one is copy the first. Oh, the first one is no. This one is just it's another new query. Yeah, I want to follow him here, but I didn't copy it first. I copied twice. It's great. It's from
Your computer, free.
this and that.
Yeah, it's free.
Yes. Okay. And I just get the first one. I just
So we'll get going in a moment. Did everybody get the databases and stuff done? So I just want to do a tiny tour and then we'll actually start the stuff that's relevant to this.
So what do we do after this, thinking of the ad connection?
Oh, I was just showing people the connection. So one of those can go down. Give me a second. So this is just, let me change my fonts. I'm going to go to Tools, Options. You guys don't have to do this, but I'm going to do Fonts and Colors. Theoretically, I'm going to do the text editor, and I think I'll change it to like 16. Is that big enough from the back? So I just wanted to show you some of the data, and I didn't change the font on this. But there's like food, rent, childcare, transportation. These are all things that they lend money to. And there's a maximum and a minimum for all of those things. One of the things that I'm going to just do from person. So all the people, whether they are employees, whether they're applying for a grant, whether they are, my brain is gone, whether they are donors, they're all in the person thing. Password. All right. We'll use a stored procedure. I'll explain that later so that when we enter a new person, it'll automatically take their password, hash it. Now, the way that in here, and I'll say this a few times because you'll need it, is that the password is always their last name. So it'd be like Anderson Pass, Zimmerman Pass, Mann Pass. All right, so just because there's no way you're going to be able to duplicate that. So when we log in, you could just do like Mann Pass as their thing. Their username is their email. Are actually in person address in another table. And part of the reason for this is that some donors may be a business or something, they might have multiple addresses. Yeah. Sure. This is just for show. So that looks good. Yeah. Yeah. Choose the database. No. What the host is SQL Express. SQL Express. So if it updates SQL Express. I'm doing community assistant. This is just show and tell, to show you a little bit of what's there. What? I'm actually, it's from this query. I'm just typing in, so like, you might notice that it does have the tables and there's a person address table. Right? So I just was trying to show you that the addresses are in a different table than person. Maybe I'll just talk real quickly. Business rules you can ignore, pretty much, but basically it's just rules for the database that I put in there so that I had them there. Contact is where the phone numbers are, and again, multiple phone numbers for different people sometimes. Contact type relates to contact in the sense that it says if it's a home phone or a business phone or what kind of phone it is. We got the employee position. So some employees have more than one position. Grant request is where they request a grant. They're reviewed. That's what the review are. The reviews can have different comments. There's a login history table that keeps track of when people log in. Person table I showed you just all the people. Person address is all their addresses, and the position relates to employee. So this is a list of all the available positions, and then employee position matches the employee to the position. Does that make sense? It's a relational database, so everything's kind of divided up. And one of the hard things that you will have initially is that you didn't make this database. You don't know the database, so figuring out where things are could be complicated. But that was the only point of this. Let me get your thing going. I bet you still got more process. real quickly. Anyone else having issues? And then just down here choosing master. This Visual Studio is in the virtual, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll help you if you need to go. All right, so a couple of things about, I'm going to close the SQL window. You can run SQL commands if you need. If you don't know SQL, will actually be mostly okay. This is a couple of things to know about this connection. These connections over here, they have nothing to do with your projects. Connecting through Visual Studio doesn't mean you're connected in your connection. Okay, let me look real quickly, because I said I did want to look at Canvas real quickly. We'll look at the assignment, and we can probably start actually on it. Arise though. And I just want to kind of, as I recall, this assignment has a lot of pieces, so it may take us a while to walk through them. I'm going to do the example again with the book club, but it'll be fairly similar to what your assignment is with Community Assist. So my password, what is it? Okay. So 172. All right. So assignments. And the stuff you guys have turned in so far looks pretty good, actually. So this is the data entities assignment. Oh, well, I'll just scroll down. So actually, ignore this because I deleted the ADO assignment. Just real quickly, talk about the classic ADO assignment commands. We're going to do something with a wizard with the data entities that will create a whole layer of code that talks to the database. And it's a layer of code. In the classic ADO commands, you could write your own objects, use your own objects. So you can do it all manually, which has, it's a lot of work, but you know what you're total control over it. Now, ADO, the kinds of commands and objects there are like a connection object, right? So you can have a connection on the database. A data set object, which we're still going to use, which will basically just store the data that you get from the database in a two-dimensional table, right? There are command objects whose job is to pass SQL from the program to the server and get back the results. Right? So there are all sorts of different built-in objects. I cut this last time. We really think I overburdened it. And despite the fact that I think it's it's online at what people are, and they're not, they're using the data because it is so much faster. I'm going to show you. So we're going to, it tells you which tables to get. Again, I'm going to do this with the book review instead. Log in, I'll show you log in. be like the one for ADO. So don't worry, I should edit this to get rid of all the references to the old ones, but we'll make a login page. But we're going to use and there's a built for this and a stored procedure for that. So that we could do it in raw code, but I have a stored procedure. And the reason there's a stored procedure logic, the reason it's so we don't have to do it. You can just call it. And if you want to look at that stored procedure, I can show it to you. Pass it the registration information, and it takes the password and hashes it. Because it's best practice to store it as hash, not to store it as raw text. And again, I'd be happy procedure, but it's built a login page, a registration page, and then basically this first one is for donors. So once they've registered and logged in, they can go and make a donation. And there should be a page to the last page that lists all their donations. A lot of oh, did I send? I don't have validation stuff here, and I don't think of it later.
You should validate the email on the registration page.
Did I? All right, so I will show you the validation. Use validation controls. So that's a lot. There's a lot here. So let's take it little piece by piece. And then it's being recorded on video. There are if I get there. Actually, I think it might be on the assignment at the bottom now. Anyway, there are entries that are relevant to this that basically goes step by step. I'll get the link and I'll post it as an announcement. But on my blog, there's a step example that I'm going to do. So this sounds intimidating, but it isn't terrible. All right, and when you're doing something like this, so first piece will log in. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is we'll start a new project and we'll add the data entities, and I'll show you how to do that. We have always, we're going to do 5. Did you get the databases?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the website, to call an example. I'm going to go OK. Make sure C# empty. And I have over here, we don't necessarily need the Search Explorer right now. Over here, probably need the project description. So if I go to the top under View and get the Solution Explorer, so that it has the entities on the web right in it. So View Solution Explorer. I didn't want that. That's I don't know what. So the solution is right here to your file. Got it? Okay. So. Give it a moment while it's whirring. And spin. Website, file, website and name it what I call it. I'll do this pause till it's there. I'm going to add, right click and it probably not here and then add new. And what I want to add is an ADO in data entity model. I'll give here's yeah. So you to make sure it's sorted. You're slowly in there. Okay. Just like you. So that and you can look at your this is illustrating how that someone to great. Me. I mean, this is a kind of don't get it. You're gonna I think model. Actually, excellent time. Right. And I just find it, but one is ADO.NET entity model to call model. It actually matter model. You name so. Okay. So you now. Okay. Just I'm not sure. Okay. Got it. Now you're going to mean that it folders. You say credit work like. All right, and I'm going to build from a design with like servers and where you to actually create the SQL database at that point. You can also it all in Sharp and keep the data fairly sharp. So say next. Are you there? So it gives me this connection. Now, if you can actually get a new string to have show you if you don't. You won't data. So it's perfect. You want to change, you could basically be something that you saw that the price. So local host, and you could pick book review DB, right, for the example. So have the result already. But this little basically yeah. So next, there's a check here that says save settings and config, and we'll say yes to that. Otherwise, manage the commits. So we're with that. So So I'm next, and we're going to use frameworks 5. Choose word something great. I'm going to import which to work. So question work with. One of the things is you just click all of them. Do not know, and this is need to if it form all data. You should them and be in intro. I'll have to decide that and not exactly what in here, how you should. All right. File new site. Right click. Admin. The data into this. So right now I will add just all the tables. Also do I'm going to use the new reviewer and the new login. Okay, so you in the consistency new new sure what the name is. Can have to look, and then one login with the login. The password is hashed. So that hash, you have to match the hashes, and that's kind of complicated. So again, there's a built-in stored procedure for doing that.
So we don't want the red stick.
The you log in, and so when you password, it generates random that can with now consider this is overhead.
Even all one from tables.
I all that unnecessary and all. Give me a lot of ability and want to. You can use them. These functions are used. What am I not? Yeah. So I'm going to. If you need me to, I'll delete my today's again. If you get 2 minutes, and I will it should bring a chart. Okay, yeah. Block these warnings. You do not click this box. Either it by you can invisible have to see there's something wrong that is don't. So I don't stop them. What say about the entity is published general work faster. I'm going to show you what this shows. One is actually going to and the relations. So we don't have energy. We don't have to. There's a lot of stuff that's just built into the code here. The reason I like it is that you don't have to SQL. Find SQL, but if you're a programmer, problem is string. There's program string database right is a problem, and it's a pain. But one of the way we do our is it actually gives you you don't and I'm gonna I'm not for the most part when I'm going to all of this I'm going to want to I mean as you get better there are things you adapt into. So one of the down see that it creates a set like and tables that we have, it's created a plural table. It's going object author in and the very there you the author public key name. It has gets and sets. This is a shortcut that Microsoft can use. Gets and sets. It doesn't work language. Get here you can have a but also is like that makes sense. Down here is the class book. There's a category for every symbol in your database. And included in this is the ability to insert up eat. You can see it all into it. Quick here today. And we need more. Sometimes writing a class for every table isn't exactly what, but it's pretty well.
Show the class.
So you have to click the new mouse. Again, I would leave this to a that's the TT files. I have right up but if there it'll load the happen. T file move. I don't know why. I don't know why. So being here, no, it's great. This is fairly readable. Most part is leave it. It work to do click all right, fast hours to do. It takes to read.
There's
There's nothing there.
okay. Oh, it's just showing you.
I was there. The diagram show that. I closed. There it is. Warning. But I have found manually save this. Sometimes it doesn't recognize it. Call it. Get all the. And I'm doing it. And is this just all. I'm not sure what it is in the okay. So first part is just the is run so nim talking in a do Hey, did you get caught? So go ahead and next. And you do just click. I mean, and restore pictures. The finish. And give you. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Or the other thing you can do. Okay. So the next thing I do is just web form. So I need to add on this on the entities and web form. Default is fine. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make the login. All right, so I'm just going to do the login page first. So you guys, so is that question?
We're adding
A web form.
a web form.
Right. Added it. Click on the page for that one. Right, click on that and then do that. Do that. And then it's fine. What else?
Why?
This. Oh, so click it on the. Give it a minute. Anybody that send here, just what is this? So just do so typically virtually freezing up is because updates are downloading in the background and then the resources just get too thin. If you can handle waiting, it usually will clear. Doesn't restart to see if you do get beat because of that stuff, just let me try to put you up when time. So I'm not sure if we'll get much beyond the login today, but I'll be but we'll take. Do you guys know? So this is just HTML for the most part. I'm going to do a table row. I'm going to do a TD, table detail. Ooh, not text box. Just want a TD. This one I'm just going to say, so maybe words, And then another, and I'm going to again toolbox. And we're down under these. See, I'm going to unpin that just to get a little room here. Text box, what is, so I'll name it something like user text box. Okay. I just have, again, the table is not necessary, it's a way to make it a little pretty. You can break these, however, I'm going to break it just so it's on the screen a little better. And then I'm going to just copy that whole table row. And this time I'm just going to say password. And I'll call it password text box. Something you can do, but you may not want to do. I'm going to do text mode. Whoa, why did it select everything? Text mode equals password. What that'll do, and again, you may not want to do it while testing, but text password will make it so there's little dots there instead of the actual text. Sometimes that's a pain when you. And then one last row, although it'll be a little different. And then I'll walk through it again. This one, instead of username there, I'm going to put a button. So I want a button under B's. Okay. So in the table details there, I put in a button. I'll call it login button. And for the text, I'll do login. And I'm going to get rid of the text box down here. And I'm going to put a label, and I'll just call it result label. We're going to adjust this a little bit. And the text away. So let me walk through that again. Can I do, I'm going to, just to get the whole thing on there, maybe get my down there. So, started at a row, TR, there's a little inside of it, TDs, username, just text, and then I have a text box, which I call the user text box, and then I have another table row with 2 cells. There's one for the password, and there's just the word text password, and then there's a text box to store the password. And then there's a third row, TR, that has a button text there. I called it button and gave it the text login. Also a label in the other cell. So if you look at it, and then I'll give you a second if you. So I'm just going to design. Oh, what did I just do? All right. It's just a very simple. You don't have the table, it just won't look as nice unless you do some CSS. And if you wanted, I'm going to go back to the source so you can look at that. You could put like up above this table, just I'm going to do like H1. And then when I do the design, it'll say login there. So I'll go back to the source. Do you guys need a minute?
Yeah, yes.
And where is it most towards the end?
With text mode, did you type that in there?
It's a in the IntelliSense. So if I do like here X mode, click in there, and then do a space, it gives me a whole bunch. These are all the attributes that go in. One of them is text mode, and the T's may not show now because I used it. So one of the things that I would suggest, if you can get to there as we go on, is not to worry too much of what I type exactly, but to get the gist of what I'm doing, because you could do it. If you realize that I'm just setting up a regular password, I mean a regular login kind of thing, you know, you just basically need a text box to store the username, a text box to store the password, a button to process it. It's just those three things. And I'm using ASP controls because they're easier to talk to and code. You actually could just use the input, the HTML. But it would be a little bit more on. You'd have to do a DOM kind of search for the objects, like you do in JavaScript. Just easier to do everything. So when we're ready, I'll do the code for this, and then I said it might be done. Post like it already posted. And a video. Let me know when you're ready. The other thing I would suggest, let IntelliSense and drop and use IntelliSense to get easier to type. That's one reason why it seems like I go so fast, is I don't type most of it. You know, I just select it from the IntelliSense list.
Yeah, you can get it to work.
Yeah, for sure. You got yours now?
No, it's not just-
Yeah. Yeah, it's not showing you that. That was good. I'm not in touch.
Right, so you translated it. That's why you use Amazon. Great. Oh, he's already there. I love that it's square building. I just think it's amazing. I want to get a job at this time. Well, they're doing a good job. Every I order, I groceries from Amazon. Yeah.
Anybody else problem that the controls are showing up? She's having-
It's cheaper. You get.
So if the button isn't showing up, you may have to add some code to it. It's weird because the controls are showing up when they run, but they're not showing up on the. So I was going to go to design. Am I frozen? Why am I frozen? I go away to help people whose things were freezing. And yeah, there's dates. I'm going to give it a minute. Yeah, so it's moving now. Did yours start moving after a bit?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to design and I'm going to double click the button. Now, if you can't do that, so you can write this, but you also need to, and I'll come back, you also need to write this. So it has to have the on-click button, click your button, source, and then yes, it has to have this, and I can help you write that if you want. I can write this first, and then actually when you go back, it'll just give you a drop-down list. I think you're the only person without a button. Other people are missing other controls. Yeah, I know you have a button, so you're just missing your text boxes for whatever reason. Yours is open.
I don't know.
We're going to code here in a moment. You don't have to because your button was there. You're in fine. You're where I am.
When I clicked on save all, it gave it some there.
Oh, that's actually a warning. That actually is it's working. It tells you that there's
And
a
when
security risk.
when you go for it and reload.
Then I would say yeah. Well, actually, I'll sleep here. How about? You're okay? Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to first make a connection to the data entities thing that we did. So, it should, actually, it's book review, right? So there should be something like book review DB entities. And I'm going to make it a new object. What this means, all over there, all of entities. It's always going to have the same kind. When you do community assist, it'll be community assist entities. If you do a different database, it'll always be that database name followed by entities. Right. So what you're looking for to hook to the classes that it just generated. So when we log, it's going to, it's not called, and well, it's accept is best. I'm going to equals db dot, and one of the things, remember we did those stored procedures. I can see it now. USP we're logging, right? I can see the stored procedure because we logged it into the designer. You can't see it in the data design. It's there. Treated as, so if I open parentheses here, it tells me why we should ever do some kind of validation first. I'm going to do box.text and for password, so it would be a password text box text. So passing things correctly. So I said it would probably be to do kind of validation. But it's going to put them off to the procedure. Does that make sense? The int that it returns, okay, and there's no way to know this without somebody telling. So if you're using something like data entity in actual business, probably use specs and my information. Pieces is return 0, 1. If it returns, it's a -1. If it returns -1, it's a thing. Right, so we need that to see return a -1. So I'm going to say if yes doesn't equal okay, and then I'll do curly braces. That's actually Java stuff usually. All right. So what we're going to do is it's a successful login. One of the things we're going to do is we want to get the key person, and I get the start routine. So it just returns a -1 if it fails and 1. So, and I think up here, I'm just going to do int key equals 0. All 0. Do I need that? Actually, I don't know that I need that. Believe it, but I don't think I need it. All right, so I am going to say, I'm trying to remember if I do a, probably never seen anything quite, you've seen before maybe. I'm going to call key for user key, although you could call it user key, equals from the k in db dot reviews. Where, and I'll explain in a moment, where a dot, now I think there is a username here which is different than their email, but in the one you're doing, the email is the username, but it isn't in the book review one. So I'm going to say where the reviewer name is equals, I don't know if it'll let me do this actually. The username text box text. I might have to assign that to a variable. So user text box text. I don't know if it'll let me do that. So I'm going to select k dot reviewer key. And I'm going to put parentheses around all this. And I'm going to say first or default. So let's explain that. Probably looks like, doesn't it? Or it may look like SQL. It's a little down. It does resemble SQL a little bit. This is what they call link, L-I-N-Q. And it's sort of a query that they do. You can use it for any, you can array, you can query file, things. In a SQL, there's always a from, tells you what table it's from. This is from the collection of reviewers. So the reviewer. And then we're saying where the username, which belongs to this k is just a variable. It could be anything. Maybe R would make more sense. I did key because I was getting keys, and K for keys. But it could be any. This is just a variable. It could be anything. Right? The DB is this up here. So the DB is the book review database entities. Reviewers is one of the collect. One ways to look at this, reviewer is a collection of reviewer. The singular, each reviewer is one row, and reviewers is a collection of those rows. Does that make sense, sort of? So we want to see where it matches the username, and we want to select the reviewer key. And because we don't want to have to loop through this, we're going to take the first or the default, because there should only be one key for this reviewer, right? So if first or the loop results, they are. this return collection last year. So to convert this key, I can say key equals, and then I need to cast it to an int view key. Have you guys seen cast? Again, if you were in Python, probably not. What this does, this is a bar, which means it doesn't have type. It's a collective type. It has multiple types, actually. So we need to cast it to the kind of type we want. So because we're selecting only the reviewer key and we're doing first order, to be able to make it an integer, which is what the user key should be. Does that make sense? By the way, I don't expect you to just understand it. Long time reading different things to come to this. I'm not expecting this to just suddenly make sense. So, you know, right a bit because I'm expecting it.
So it's kind of like parsing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like parsing. Kind of like SQL too. It's a query language, so you're querying a collection of something, and you can provide right SQL. We're looking at a collection, providing a criteria of what we're looking for, and then we're saying what elements of that, you know, what field should do. Because I want one value. If I was returning more than one value, I wouldn't put that. And it would all go here, so you'd have a collection that you could loop pieces. Sense? Not sure. Kinda. It's like upside down SQL. For what it's worth, SQL processed it. It's not. In SQL, if you've done it, for column names from a table name, but when it actually operates underneath, it goes to the table first, looks at the criteria, and then gets the fields. This is the order in SQL it's processed in, but it's not the order you would write in SQL statement. Don't expect this to sync necessarily in one, but what I'm doing is going to be really close. I'm going to create a session variable. Do you guys know what session variables are? No? Okay. So a session variable is like a key, except it's stored on the server. Now, when you go to the web, you know, you have your own whoever provider is, you log, you know, you get into from right page, you're given a session. So every individual user has their own. One of the things that you really want to do is to keep the sessions distinct. If one person logs in, nobody can see it. Basically what this is doing is this is in a on that's attached to this session. If you want to read the session, you can see what, you know, what I've given you. It's basically a long string of numbers and letters that they've identified you as the particular user of this web. You can use this key, like we can use a list so that if they go someplace that they should only be seen by them and where they should not see other things, we can use this session key to say that basically we want the donations for this user, right, for this key. And it is active as long as you're on the website. Session is active as long as a user's on. Go to another and come back, you have to reload. How your session. The other thing about and with you could a cookie if you want to store this on. These are little text files stored on the machine. About the reason why you have to store it somewhere is that web pages have no state. They don't remember their variables. So you either got to store it on the server or it on the phone. Because it won't store RAM, it won't hold it. And that's by design for security. Web pages don't store variables and things. You leave either write a cookie or do a session when you come back to write it. If you page and go and come your information there because they wrote it to either a session variable or a cookie. The normal behavior is if you go off a web page and come back, all your fields are blank. Unless it was they made an effort to save it or read it. All right. And then the last thing I'm going to do is my result label. Dot. For right now, I'm going to say equals. Later, we will navigate a web page. I'm just welcome here. And I'm going to say else, curly braces, and I'm just going to take that result label. And I'm going to say invalid login. The other thing I'm going to do for right now, I'm going to add the key to this. Just so I can see it. You wouldn't do this in real life, but just to make sure that it's there. Just for debugging purposes. We're going to test this and then we're going to call it a day. The other thing is I'll say just again before, because some of you came in, I won't be here Thursday because I have to go to a funeral. You're welcome to come in here and work on it. If you want to build the login page of your assignment, you can do that. I wouldn't expect you to be able to go farther, but if you want to try, you're certainly welcome. Yeah, we'll just finish it when we finish it. Because I haven't given you enough to finish it yet, and yeah, we should be fine. All right, so I'm going to try to run this. So you guys, one thing I'm going to do real quickly before I do it, in the Server Explorer, look at DB entities, I'm going to do a new query. I just need to know somebody's login, right? And it's easier in Community Assist. The username is always their email, and the password is always their last name plus pass. But I didn't do that in Book Review. So I'm just going to do select star from reviewer, and I'm going to run that. And so let's don't do the first one. Let's do Mary G is her username, and her password is Mary password. So Mary G and Mary password. So I'm going to go back to the default. I'm going to run, and I'm going to see if that works. Come on. I should have probably built it first. Okay, so Mary G and Mary, was it a capital P or lowercase? Welcome. Now, see, it'll deleted it the second one. Oh, that's the, remember I added in the user key to display it? So the 2 mean is 2. So if I did, yeah, Mary's the second user, so 2 is the user key. So it's working key, and it's saying if I do a bad password, invalid. What? So the password was Mary Password. Actually, it was the whole thing, all lowercase. Do I want to close everything? I just want to close this, I think. I'm going to stop. So anyway, that kind of worked. It's on the code. I can post this as a and actually, if you really want it to work, let's to GitHub. I'm going to let's just go to repositories, book review. That's a service. That's not the one. Raise. I'm just looking. I'm sure that there's some here. Failing that, though. I think, is it Conger ITC or ITC Conger? Must be ITC Conger. A link. Yeah, it doesn't look right. I think it's Conger ITC. Let's see one like this. Or and we're in April. GitHub, Windows, use cases. Tell you what, I'll just post it.
So
Yeah, did yours not? So mine ran, and then I had to look up a user, for instance. So I did Mary G, and then it's Mary Password. Yeah, welcome to. I'll come lost this. So let me post real quickly. And I don't think I'm logged in here, so let me sign in. I don't remember my login, so let's see if this works. Hey, it works. So I'm going to just make a new repository. I will call it, what do you want to call it? Entities example? I'll put ITC 172 in front of it. And then I can just add to this repository as we build it. So I'm going to create the repository. All right, so I'm going to upload files. Here's something that works really well that I didn't know worked really well. I'm going to go to Documents, Visual Studio 2015, website, the data entities example. I'm just going to drag that on there. And if you drag the whole folder, did it work? Maybe not. It usually does. It usually gives you everything. All the subfolders, all of that. It's not doing it now, though.
File is hidden.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I wonder if it's because it's open. Actually, I didn't want to save this. Cancel. Let's try it with Visual Studio closed. Yeah, it still says hidden. All right. So I have to commit these. So I use, when it won't upload the whole folder, you have to create a folder, and then I create a dummy text because it won't let you do an empty folder. And then having done that, I can take all the app code files and upload them. Although, and then I will commit. Basically, these are just the data entity files. What?
I'm also trying to do this in the view, like to drag, and it's not working as well.
So the folder didn't work. So what I had to do is I had to do the root level files, and then I had to create, I'll show you how, I'll do it with the bin file. Although there is a thing I need to do also. So I had to get the folders. So first of all, I just did all the files that were at the root here. I just did all of those. Right, so all of the, let me move it up higher. So first thing I did is just all the files that weren't in the folder. Okay, and then I did the app code, and I'm going to do the bin the same way. I do create new file, and I'm going to name it bin. And then I'm going to do a slash, and I'm just going to say dummy, and I'll give it a TXT extension. Don't actually have to put any content in it. I need to commit it. And then I can drag into that folder. But it won't let you make an empty folder. So then I can do upload files, and I can go down to, I could also, I don't have to choose my files, I could just drag them. But websites, data entities, examples, bin. I'm going to get all of them. I'm going to do open, and it'll add them all. Then I need to commit them. Those are big. Yeah.
This is supposed to be the video, right?
Yes, there is a video, and there is a, now all the code is up there. I do want to do in the app code, can I do, I kind of want to delete this file. Yeah, so where's my dialog box? I just want to delete it. Do I have to somewhere say yes? I just want to delete this one thing. I'll commit changes. The reason I'm deleting this, if you download this and try to run it with the TT files in it, it will crash. That's a good question. I knew once. I'll look in a second. It's a lot of JavaScript. It'll regenerate these files
On its own.
on its own. And I think that might be part of the problem, is it tries to regenerate them while they're already there.
What was the username and password?
Oh, so I did Mary G. And the password was Mary password, all lowercase, all one word. Okay, so it's all there under ITC entities example. I'll put a link. Actually, let's go up one level. And I'll do a link to it. Probably just do it as an announcement. What is today? The 4/18th. Yeah. Sure, in a moment. So I just posted the code on class. Just posting it. So So that's what I usually do. It's different right. So one of the things that I would do, probably, let's say like, if you want to build it in there, it says, database. Yeah, so that would, same thing about it. So, I just started typing. Maybe just yeah, I think literally. Yeah, he doesn't. No, I don't think it is. So if you want to do the, yeah, no, so let's do the. And then what we'll do is create a new file inside of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was trying to put that in like that.
Now, none, you know,
I'm on,
you don't have to do that. No problem. Yeah. You did it. So this is a variable that's the result of the US stored procedure returns about, if it fails, it returns -1. If it succeeds, it returns. So if it's not, right, then what we're going to do, this is just a variable that we declare. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the database and give the user key for that user, because we need it for. So we're going to store it to the session data. Later we'll use it so that when they go to look at their own donations or their own reviews. We're going to use it later. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything here yet.
Oh, okay, so what is it now?
You're selecting the reviewer key from, this is just a variable, but it's from review. So the table of reviewers. So it's the key, which is two primary.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a query that gets the. Oh, we just found out. I wrote this stuff.
So this is the
The first value of Process is a fixed domain and the password. So if they match, then it's successful and every time. If it fails, then we change the lines. So we're saying if it doesn't fail, we need to go back to the database. We need to go back to the database and grab their, like, the keys, they use it later. This is just to grab that key. That's all it's doing. It has nothing to do, the logging is already done. We already know the successful logging. So we need the reviewer key for, so that when they look at, well, so particularly more so in the, community assist, so that the donors only see their own donations, that's everybody's donations. So we can put a query later, where we use that key, so all the donations and donors, you know, key is this. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And, so I put it there because we're gonna need it later. This whole query is just to get this key. And then the result is just because it's inside of the zip.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Sure.
Oh, so you're.
So, just write something. What it wants to do is you have right, so now we can do. Oh. Well, if you do it says, yeah, no. Yeah, so just do. Down to just something like that. It's a bit of a pain. I don't know what but if it contains something else, it's automatically folder. All right. The other thing I didn't say is you should probably close out of the virtual machine. And what I usually do is I usually shut it all the way down. It seems to behave better. That actually went really smoothly today. I'm happy. I mean, there were a few bugs, but overall it went pretty smoothly. We'll see. Yeah,
SQL class will be there tomorrow.
I will be there.
Okay.
I'm not leaving until after class, even though it means I'll probably get to Idaho about
Okay.
midnight. But yes, I will be there. Such a deep sigh. Said such a deep sigh.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, good. Oh, come on. It shouldn't take forever to shut down.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. Oh, pretty good. About to head out to lunch.
Okay.
Why did it not lock? Okay. I'll be back.
We got this awesome data structure homework on this. Oh, yeah, went into the Turing lab and like, we haven't even learned about recursion. We haven't had the lecture on it yet, but I opened the book, read about it, saw some examples, looked online at some examples, and wrote the code in like 15 minutes. And it works. So it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Shad, I thought with your extreme love of Java, that you would have been in there.
Man, let me tell you something about Java.
Well, I believe you stood up in class and said, "I love Java."
Let me tell you something about it.
What?
That she can't No, she can't. That's all she does is straight from the, Sadie is straight from the book, homie. Like, she is, like, watch her tell you, she's going from one screen to the next. Oh, it's making.
Did you do radio buttons too?
Yep. Radio buttons, safety version for both. I got pictures that change in the background. And, you know, I got a job with my thing, you know. I'll be there probably the first week.
Do anything.
My daughter gets like, my middle daughter gets volleyball. And then my brother actually gets volleyball. So I got very small issues with the golf class. Down here. Like, you know, I started doing my thing. I'm like, you know what? I did probably break down with the sense on atmosphere. Yep. Got me the G6 home. Been approved, we'll see the problem. Get approved. Huh? You got an all-star burger, you guys are worried about it. So keep us honest and fun. Motivation.
Yeah. TJ, you didn't have to put that in a while, though. You do not have to do that. No, as a matter of fact, it works way better if you don't.
Where's your hat, man?
At least you didn't ask me if I got my hair cut.
That's why. That's because you always wear your hat. That's why, like, I have no idea how long your length your hair is. Like, could you like export your Android stuff?
Could I what?
Your assignment? Could you like export it?
Can I?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it's like Mac doesn't really export the project.
You gotta tell her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell her. I'll stay. So that's why I couldn't like submit like that.
You just said here, it's like kind of like static relative.
Oh, okay.
For one will flap it to the top left corner, and the other one will actually position it. And that's
The only problem I have with it is that it sucks out. Everything inside.
I look at it first.
I'm gonna say, oh my God, look at this. So this is the top of the website, and I was like, what I was looking at last night, I'm like, is this not loading right? What is going on? This is what they have, there's like lots of slices stuff done. And then this is like the main page. But it's just this is like the main part. Look at all of that. Kira. What? Oh my God. You actually sent me a dirty last night.
Me?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Why would you have all that?
What did you say?
You just sent me like this little emoji that said hi. That message your butt. I'm kidding.
No, you didn't.
So your guys still open on the Saturday?
The party Friday night, so we close up shop Saturday. I'm kidding, Sue. I'm kidding.
And that's what I said that day. I heard ready the piano. Said, okay, I'm not giving you a ride home. Yeah.
So you're gonna do the group process today?
Yeah.
I think the data structures. That's what
The Java.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that, and I started
The
on the
recursive.
personal meeting. No, I did not.
It takes like 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Really?
I read the book, I looked online, figured it out, wrote it.
I did the other one, and then I realized that probably she wanted to change so that for by zero with
Oh,
with
I'm not
a
talking
try
about that.
catch. And-
Yeah,
I
it
know.
says you have to put multiple try catches.
Yeah.
on it, too.
I did it last week. I did it with
Yeah, there's two try catches, one right after another. And one,
change it.
and you know, a while loop, and then I tried it like that.
I did it with a while loop.
Don't need a while loop.
So we're gonna
Don't
just
need
have
one.
regular.
I think it's here today. Yeah, here today in the morning. We didn't have much of one.
The book, I didn't end up using the book, but yeah, you don't need a while loop at all. I had it in a while loop, and I'm like, wait a second, this should work without this, and I took it out.
Yeah, I had it first without the while loop, and it didn't work.
I'll have to show you mine.
It
So
really different to that.
I'll have to show you mine, so you can. Actually, I just might need to go out of class.
Yeah.
I was gonna. Did you get your Android on working?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it's wrong because if anytime the stuff doesn't show up, like it's just blank. And I tried doing it. I did it 3 times. Following all the steps.
Sure.
And at first I did it
But I think it's following the training instructions, and then you're following another project.
I'm gonna be in a doctor's practice, so I can't make it. So, just in case there's an issue or anything.
Your ML activity.
So how are you guys doing? So I'm going to give you Open Lab to work on the activity diagrams. I also am not going to be here Thursday, so you can have it as an open lab, or if you're all done, I guess you can have a day off. I have a funeral to go to in Idaho, so I will be here through Wednesday if anyone has. I'll leave Wednesday after class. But so I'll give you the open lab now, and then you actually essentially then have 2 open labs if you want to come in on Thursday. Any questions? So do the activity, the individual ones too. I will be here to help you with anything you need. And I'm going to go get one more swig of my coffee.
See, I was like,
I'll be right back.
I don't actually need that part, though.
Which one, this one?
See,
No,
and yes, I know, I have.
If I
Could
wanted
be
to,
done
say
short.
if I wanted to say the exception, I do need that part. You mean the
I
second
didn't
time?
want it.
It says you
Well, I
have
didn't
to.
know if
Or if you give
someone
sample
wanted
output,
to.
it
I
has to.
can.
This is
Go ahead. But yeah, you have to, and then.
Because it's like a
Here's the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Anybody else or what? I can do it and then come back or
Yes.
do that. So I can do it,
You're
but
a
if
good
anybody else
You're a good
wants.
Google doctor.
Yes.
So watch this when you remove it. And so I'm. No, I created it.
But no, it's just efforts.
What I.
No, it just.
Oh, no, I just did that when I said, because that's inside.
Okay.
That's return, because it's a return. So, but what's cool is I was able to do it so that,
Running.
so. Okay, it's another Fibonacci, I'll say I want. Whoops. And so, yeah, I made it say first, second, third, fourth, and then it goes down to 20 first.
26.
I guess I just divided it up.
You want an extra. Sorry. I always do that. I'm bad at that.
You guys wanted to take the same subject in that last time, and just do the activity diagram, or do people want to switch around?
So,
Is that better? Okay,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but so I made it so that for this or statement, say, or if I plus one modules of that one, no matter what, ST on it.
Yeah.
And then modules of 2, put it in D.
Yeah, that's what.
3.
He didn't seem to mind our different.
D, because you have 21st, 22nd, 23rd,
Yeah.
so I had to do
I
that.
think I have
Yeah, we'll see that.
You know, all right. All right, so.
So I'm gonna make it Google. And then I thought, you guys want to stick with the same topic that you had last time? And just do the activity diagram?
Oh, no, the easiest, because they're already familiar with what we're doing.
Yeah, like if you had students.
If Rebecca comes, she will kick you out of there because I tried to.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Just
so I'll
saying.
just do what I did last time.
You're sitting.
She got kicked out over here. She's not here anymore.
I tried sitting there and she did not let me sit.
She wasn't in my.
Okay, so this assignment is what, the process?
I'm almost sufficiently caffeinated, so I'm here.
These three, so we'll have.
And then we got
Everyone does
to.
one.
I told the guy.
And there should be at least one. What do I, oh, they do want one swim lane diagram.
Yeah, I do the diamond and.
Yeah, I can do swim lane if.
Yeah, we could just do the. Well, I might have, with mine was so successful, I might have. Well, actually, I am with the. I mean, I can try, I'll try.
Yeah. And we all we
No,
need
we're
is
not
at least
doing it.
one.
I know we're doing a diagram.
And I'm creating.
We do the same one, same way that we did last time, so we'll do the.
That's just diagram.
Remember
there was a third part, and I didn't know that.
Well,
Well, they're showing me.
that before, you just
Because we're gonna do for the same.
yeah.
You wanna do that?
I